Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Check check check. Mic check. Mic check check. We're good. Excellent. Yes. Just talk. Test 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 test. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2. Check check check. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2. Testing testing testing. Good.
For you as well, man. Surviving.
I know, that is not true. That will never happen.
Hi there.
Sorry, I missed you today. Today was insanely hectic, but they took Katie filled me in. Yeah, okay.
We made sure that. We made sure that.
Well, you know, I just like, I'm happy to. Okay. Well, I asked her. I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. We got one for breakfast, right?
Hey, how are you? Absolutely fabulous. And yourself? Good, good. What would you like us to be?
So we have a huge amount of people that are
Okay, just tell us where you want to be. Yeah, okay. Just don't slide them down the street.
There is a large amount of
No, I couldn't get it up your ramp. No. Let me handle it. Let me handle it.
We have all these stairs.
They got people up there. Good, let's go. We can be perpendicular. Yeah, that's perfect. Come on down. This is what I'm saying. Perpendicular right here. Fine.
Slide on down. So we got. So we have. Yeah, but that means we're going to work on Saturday or something.
Just like this. She said invite me.
You can bring them all out. Thanks, y'all.
Sure.
Guys, they're going to start lining up. As soon as they are over there and so much, we're going to go live.
Come on, man. You look like a giant.
Hey, Sam. All right. Shake my hand, buddy.
Nobody else. Stand up. Actually, it's pretty good.
I should have just said, you should.
Hey, we're good now.
I know that's right. So good.
Now y'all know why I was trying so hard today. Like I couldn't hold it.
That's good news, good news, good news.
How you doing?
I feel like my daughter in front of my ball spot. Daddy, come on, Papa. I want to see something. This is I'm just giving it over your head.
Good evening. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank especially Mayor Lenny Curry, State Attorney Melissa Nelson, Council President Terrence Freeman, our City Council members, federal partners, FBI, the DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshal's Office, United States Attorney's Office, and of course, and most importantly, our valued members of our community. On Saturday evening, a 13-year-old child was murdered, an 11-year-old child and a 21-year-old young man were shot on their way home from football tryouts. As we prepare for the holidays, a family in our community is preparing to bury their child, a needless, senseless victim of gun violence that plagues our community. While this family has suffered unimaginable loss, our entire community grieves with them. Today I stand before you with our community and faith leaders to share that this grief has not broken our community. To the contrary, this grief has emboldened us and hardened our resolve. Jacksonville will not, and I repeat, will not tolerate violence for one more day. These leaders stand hand in hand with you, the people of Jacksonville, to end this poison that threatens our safety, our children's safety. To those responsible for this terrible act, know this: we will not rest, we will not tire, and we won't waver. All our agencies' resources are being mobilized to stop you from hurting anyone else in our community. You will be held accountable. To the community that we serve, we reject the subculture that glorifies violence. It will not be tolerated under any circumstances. When a family in our community loses a child to some ridiculous, senseless violence, we all lose a precious life, a future, and the possibility of a child who could have someday become anything you can imagine. We all have the right to thrive in peace and security and safety. In conjunction with these community and faith leaders, I ask all of you to partner with us to end this cycle of violence. The loss of one life is one life too many. Jacksonville is not defined by this violence. It is defined by the community that, in memory of this beloved child, will not be silent and will not rest until justice is served. We've added an additional 420 man-hours to what we're doing to focus on this issue. And we're going to use all of our technology, all of our resources that we have to be able to do this. Our state attorney and our partner, Melissa Nelson, is going to dedicate 2 additional attorneys to focus on these issues and these young men in our community that are committing this violence. Thank you all for coming out today, and right now I'd like to introduce Mayor Lenny Curry.
Thank you, Sheriff, for the invitation to pull everybody together today. There's few words to describe the senseless violence that happened in Jacksonville this weekend. What should have been a fun evening of football and laughter was brutally ripped apart in a matter of seconds. As a father, I cannot express the level of grief and anger. The unthinkable happened. The senseless loss of a 13-year-old child and the permanent scars that will remain on the other children that were in the car. The tremendous grief affecting the families right now in our community. As a leader, I'm furious. I've seen this violence plague our town for too long. I've spoken with mothers and fathers who've had to do the unimaginable, the unthinkable, and bury their children. I've seen how violence rips apart our neighborhoods and divides our community, and I stand with our sheriff when he says enough is enough. We cannot let our anger fade. The tragedy is but another reason that we must continue to invest in our first responders and law enforcement and public safety. Criminals cannot be allowed to get away with these acts. As Sheriff Waters said, the Sheriff's Office will be mobilizing all of its resources to hold these people accountable, and I'm proud to stand here today saying the city will continue to invest and partner in the efforts with our Sheriff and our State Attorney. I'll continue to support the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement that work tirelessly to keep this community safe. To the families affected by this weekend's violence, please know your city sees you. We will not rest until the people responsible are held accountable. And as we enter this holiday season, you remain in the entire city's hearts and prayers. We cannot replace the enormous loss we've experienced, but we'll continue to work to ensure that Jacksonville is a safe place to call home.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to have Wiley Hodges from First Coast Crime Stoppers to come up and say a few words. Wiley?
Thanks, Sheriff. First of all, my condolences also to the families and the friends of this child that was murdered, and the other two that were injured, and the ones that weren't injured. They've been injured mentally, and it's going to be a hard time for them getting through this. My name is Wiley Hodges, Executive Director of First Coast Crime Stoppers, and I just want to tell you briefly what Crime Stoppers can do and what our role is in helping in solving this murder. Very simply put, Crime Stoppers exist for people to be able to give information, remain anonymous, totally anonymous, and also to recover a reward if your tip leads to an arrest. Right now, the reward is up to $9,000. Don't know how long it'll remain there, but it's $9,000 today. You know, it's very simple. All you have to do is make the call, give the information. No one will ask what your name is or who you are. And then they'll give you a number to check on your status of your case. You can check the status of your case once a week and tell you where the case is and if your tip was instrumental in making the arrest on someone. You know, someone out there with the people that was around, someone out there knows, someone out there has information. You know, and if you're afraid to go to the police, if you're afraid to give this information, that's what we're here for. That's what Crime Stoppers does. That's what we are here for today, and to explain to you, we guarantee the anonymity, and we ask it in pleading for the citizens of Jacksonville to step forward, give us this information. Right now, the tips are coming in slow. I'm hoping and expecting after this conference that we'll be flooded with information. And thanks again, and please, please give us the information. Thank you very much. Chair.
Listen, thank you for coming out. This is an important issue. As a community, we're going to own it. We're going to take care of business, and I think we're going to take care of our community. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you.